Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day, taking a quick look here at Avalanche, seeing what's going on. It's an interesting little pattern we got going on here. We'll double check a few key factors. I wanted to just kind of say thank you again to one of my community members for requesting. Thank you, David Michael, for the request. Deeply appreciate that. Good horizontal support level. We'll go ahead and see, and we're going to take a look at that and a few other key factors here too. So if you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, love to teach people to trade, and I hope you can learn something today. Quick little heads up or thank you too. I got a lot of good feedback today as well. That Solana trade yesterday was awesome. 31% or 30% in 12 hours was good. And then a previous Bitcoin trade in about 35%. Those are just 5 to 10x leverage trades. Pretty safe and easy if you ask me. But again, different strokes for different folks. I'm not like a massive 100x leverage fan. You'll probably know that by now if you watch my channel. So let's go ahead and look at the backend data and kind of see what's going on. Holy cow, look at that liquidation. Okay, so let's talk about this here. So last 7 days is roughly just kind of a zoom in of the last 7 days of worth of liquidation. And what this is telling us here is that $37 was a heavy liquidation from before that just got swept. Okay, again, Bitcoin came up, pulls back down, of course, and generally speaking, we get swept for that level. The $38 range is still safe-ish. They are in profit, so to speak, depending on where they got in, but generally speaking, this is where the largest amount of liquidation is for this coin here for shorts. Okay, second high amount at about $41. That's a previous number though. This is more recent here at about 38. So the reason why that's relevant is because on the charts, oftentimes you can see that these levels here are sought after. There's that $38 range. Keep in mind, it's almost always going to be a support or resistance level from before. And we've talked a lot about $38 being a very important level to get it back up above. That's kind of one of our confirmational signs because that was a previous support level, turned resistance now, and we got to respect the fact that it could very well continue to hold the price action in place. So let's see what's going on here. Is there any reason or indication the price action is going to bounce back? Well, MACD's losing momentum, but still pretty heavy to the downside. We're under 50 on the RSI. the stochastic RSI is swinging up. And of course, we got traditional money flow here coming back up as well. A lot of times the money flow index will bounce off 20. That's a very common pivot point. So that's a good sign. Again, a lot of that hinges on the fact that Bitcoin recovered quite well yesterday, but also simple to say here, the price of Avalanche was already increasing or bounced off that level before that happened. So just keep that in mind. It wasn't only Bitcoin that did that. Having said all that, we're above the 50-day SMA, but underneath the 20. So we're not in any circumstance right now in a great shape with Avalanche as far as like, hey, the price is just going to take off and we're good to go. Because you can still kind of see this descending trend line. Sorry about the color there. I changed that here recently. Let's go back to our blue. All right, so that's kind of where we're at there. Kind of generally speaking, we're in a situation right now where the price action is pulling back, and we still haven't broken free from this descending type of trend, right? So we're not out of the woods yet. 4-hour time frame might tell us a different story, but the daily right now is fairly conflicting. It's giving us some good signs, but also not so great signs. To touch on this too, the reason why we're seeing this pullback right now isn't because Bitcoin's pulling back, because it really isn't. We had a really aggressive candlewick, of course. It's just because Bitcoin dominance is really high. Okay. Again, this is a really normal thing that happens in crypto where the price of Bitcoin goes up and the price of all coins go down. It's like big mystery. Like, why is this happening? Not really a mystery. It's really just profits being taken from profitable coins such as Avalanche and a handful of others because they pumped up yesterday, and they take those profits and put it right back into Bitcoin. That's why Bitcoin price is staying steady right now, because that natural pullback from alts. If that didn't happen, Bitcoin probably would have pulled back harder by now. Either way, it's kind of a good thing if you think about it. So 4-hour time frame, where are we at? MACD diverging, pretty standard stuff. Same thing with stochastic RSI. Full on bearish scenario here, based on the simple fact that we lost 50 on the RSI, money flow index is coming down. Those are all bearish signs. That doesn't mean the sky is going to fall. It just implies that we're going to see if this support range here is going to hold or not. Okay, so we got a support range between 32.30 and 34.30 and 35. I'm just going to round up and round down and say $34 and $35 is essentially that range. Because again, we saw smart money accumulate, we saw manipulation, liquidation here, and then we saw the push up here to increase. That was a power of 3. I talked about that yesterday. If you're curious, just jump into our education section. It was recently posted from my admin here. Just kind of letting you know that we got smart money, liquidation, and then of course expansion. So we have kind of into this expansion phase because it's already pulling back. Okay, again, a lot of that's Bitcoin dominant. So generally speaking, this isn't like a terrible situation. It just implies, though, this most recent support should work as a support moving forward. Okay, so to me, I think that we are due for a bounce here, but We got to see if the 20-day SMA can hold, and we got to be patient and wait. Okay. I know folks just some people, I tell you, it's funny, they get really, really impatient. They just have to like trade all day, every day. I don't understand the reason for it. Probably because they're watching and following a bunch of other people that are, making massive profits, and they're never sharing their bad trades. But regardless of how you look at it, you want to just kind of pump the brakes and learn that, what goes up must come down. And just because something comes down and hits a support doesn't mean it's just going to bounce. And waiting for confirmation is the best thing you could do. Okay, forcing a trade never tends to work very well. Okay. Try forcing something in real life. It's the same scenario, right? You kind of got to just let things happen naturally, and trading is one of those things. Anyways, we have support again at $35. We're just going to see if that holds. Take a look at the hourly here, though. Ichimoku Cloud, not looking great. Lagging spans pretty much within the price action conversion lines, now below the baseline, and we're trending towards the cloud. Good news is the cloud is averaging itself out in this range here between 34 and 35, even upwards of almost 36. So there's a chance we might be able to see the price action recover off that. It could very well do one of these. That's a common thing. In fact, the most recent high, right, or previous low, however you look at it, is essentially should be the new low, right? So hypothetically, we break through that, we retest, we continue higher. That's what should happen. Okay. So the truth is, right now at this point, while we have no real good confirmation, this trend itself, if it's going to continue, we should see a bounce here between 34 and 35. If we lose 34, different story altogether. Again, a lot of alts could just continue to bleed out for a little bit longer. There's no real length of time specifically as to how long this Bitcoin dominance increase and the altcoin prices drop. That whole equation, it's contingent on a lot of confirming factors, and most of those are for Bitcoin. So if you don't watch my Bitcoin videos daily, make sure you do that so you get kind of unfamiliar with that. I typically do a deep dive every morning. But at this point, I would say no trade is a good trade. That's just my personal opinion. I hope that you're not frustrated by that, because 95% of trading is identifying coins that are performing like this and of staying away from them. Again, that's just kind of stuff that you need to understand. I teach that in my trading university. I hope you learned something here today. Of course, if you want to learn more, check that out. If you want to become a better trader with a nice, good, awesome exchange that has no KYC or VPN requirements, Bitunix, look no further. Phenomenal exchange. We really love working with them. They're great for our community. They also have a trading competition coming up here in 5 days on the 15th. It starts. You have to register. You can register between now and the end of it, of course, but generally speaking, I recommend registering soon. There's some really nice prize pools there. All right. Again, you have to use my link to register. If you have questions on that, contact me. All my contact information is below, but just be careful and just steer clear of this coin for the moment. Again, if you insist on taking a trade, 30, 40, 45 is a range, but it's not super strong. We have no indication it's going to bounce there. Just the fact that it was a previous support or resistance level. All right. Anyways, thanks again for watching. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one.